entrepreneurs are paying somewhere between $9 to $20 per hour for VAs. What that means though is most VAs are getting paid $2 to $4, sometimes less, sometimes more. But this green is what is basically the markup fee. Everyone understand that model, right? Which means that you guys get paid this much, the agency gets paid this much. Now, I don't mind every business has to make a profit, but that's a lot of profit for your hard work. So I said, what if we can make it possible for the VAs to actually earn more and get rid of the markup fee? And that's basically what we did. So now we have a model where VAs can actually make more money. Why? Because it means you can work less hours. It means you can actually have a lifestyle income comparable to where you guys live. I know that Manila is more expensive than Davao, so your rates might be $1 or $2 higher than say Davao or Cebu, but it doesn't really matter. You get to set your own rates. We don't set the rates for you. We don't. We advise you that, hey, look, when we tell the clients at least, look, the minimum is $5. But if you think your market rate is $7, then you just say $7, right? For a client, it's not a massive difference between. Now, some clients will be, but my friend hired a VA for $3 per hour. I said, then go work with that VA. I'm not interested in undercutting your value, right? You guys have to decide what is your hourly value, and you got to take into account. So we don't have 13th month. We don't tell clients that they have to pay a bonus, but we do advise them that, look, if you can build in a performance bonus, that if you guys hit your numbers, that you take initiative, you contribute more, pay the VAs more, right? Don't, just because someone told you that VAs are $5 per hour, it doesn't mean you have to pay $5 per hour. It means you value the VA's contribution to your company. If the VA is bringing in 10 times their value, give that money back to the VAs, not all of it, but reward the VAs so they can earn a good base rate. But if they're performing, if they're helping with sales and marketing and you have a good month, give them a bonus, right? Because that means your VA is going to be taking more initiative. So this is the model. This is basically what we do differently. So if we cut this out, we basically put it over here for you guys, right? Now, the other ways that we are different, in addition to no markup fees, is basically we have a highly experienced VA recruiting team. As I mentioned, entrepreneurs are not good at recruiting, right? So the team is far better at recruiting because you're the guy like Aubrey or Christian, they've got over a decade of experience hiring VAs. Everybody can make a good resume with ChatGPT, right? And now it's just you can tell that it's been written by ChatGPT. It's like almost near perfect resume, right? The VA is going to be good at 200 different things on the resume. And okay, listen, it's not possible for one person to be good at all these things, right? So a lot of the hiring experience comes into the interview itself. So if the VA, then I'll talk about our hiring process in a moment, but if the VA is in an interview and they can't back up what they say, we have to filter them out, right? Next is, it's one thing to hire the VAs, but the next thing is a proven client to VA matching. As I mentioned, it isn't that, oh, this is a great VA, this is a client. Is this VA and this client a good match for each other? So there's personality. So we're doing more and more work with personality. Okay, we want to know what's the personality of the client. Is this client patient, or are they direct? Are they impatient? So if you have an impatient client, they could be more snappy, right? They're not very emotional about how they speak to you. I want this done. They don't mean to be rude. That's just their nature. That's just the way they communicate. But if you're a sensitive VA and you've got a client giving you direct orders, you're going to be like, oh, this client doesn't like me. I don't want to be speaking to this client. And so then you're going to say, I don't want to work with this client. But a VA who's maybe more tough-skinned, they're not bothered by that. They're going to be a better fit for that kind of client. Another type of client is basically a client that's running like every single day something new, right? They need a VA who's more organized, right? So that's where we have these archetypes. The archetypes is basically the starts with the gorilla archetype is very organized. They oftentimes, when someone becomes a mother and they start to manage kids and making sure the kids get to school on time and get their homework done, they are sometimes often good at managing people too, because they need that same authority to manage people, right? And then we have a few others. So we look at that a lot, and also DISC. Are you familiar with DISC personality testing? Okay, so I think if all of you have put a BVA resume together, you may have done this. We look at that data and we try and use that data to make the matching as well. Then we provide lifetime support for our clients, which means that if the clients have hired a VA, as long as they're in a relationship with you, anytime they have an issue, they can contact us and say, hey, my VA didn't show up on time, they don't know how to do social media, or blah, blah, and then we can then try and bridge the gap. But equally important is the support that VAs need, right? So I mentioned client support is more obvious, but what support do you need, as VAs? When you have issues with the client, who's got your back, right? Because as I said, 80% of the time, it's not the VAs, it's the clients. And it's not often easy for you guys to tell the client that. So you guys can tell us, and then we have to find a nice way to tell the client that you might want to improve your communication, right? Here's a perfect example. One of the things that we teach clients is, hey, based on every business management book I've seen, it's really important you have daily check-ins with your team, right? It could be a 5-10 minute meeting. In that meeting, you're going to ask your team members, doesn't have to be a VA, it could be any team member, what did you get done the last 24 hours? What are you doing next 24 hours? And is there anything you need from me? Now, if all clients have that meeting with you 2 or 3 times a week, 5 is great, but even 2 or 3 times, every time you guys go off track, because you might go off track for multiple reasons, because, oh yeah, you know what, I don't want you to do that anymore. Let's refocus over here. But what happens is, the clients give you a task, you do the task the best based on the instructions. A week or 2 weeks later, the client checks in and they say, oh, I didn't ask for this, right? They say, oh, I didn't want it done like this, I wanted it done like that. And then you go back and redo the work, and the clients get upset, oh, the VA doesn't follow my instructions, they're not listening to me. And I said, show me your instructions. And they said, well, the instructions don't make sense to me even. I said, but tell me you are checking the VA's work every day. Oh, I don't like to micromanage. I'm not saying micromanage, I'm saying just check the work. Because if you check the work and it's not what you want, then you can course correct. So nobody gets from here to there in a straight line, right? We have to keep course correcting. But as a client, I can't course correct my team if I don't see where they're going off track. So it's things like that. And we have a whole system now that I'll share with you that clients can use to evaluate you, but it tells us what support you need to bridge that gap with the client. And finally, as I said, it's this local community-based model, which we call the Hive. So this is how we are different from the industry, starting off with no markup fees. And this is more personal. I don't have to do this, but I like to come to the Philippines and provide training to VAs. I want to make sure that you guys know what it takes to be great VAs and EAs for your clients. That's how basically we built our team. We do events at least once a year. This was last year. We had a Bohemian theme there. Last year we did Harry Potter. It was a training, so we did it was called Magical Outsourcing, and basically all the assignments were related to magic and the team building exercises. So we like to do that. So our objective here is that in each community to build up to about 30 to 50 team members. So when you guys get together, there's enough team members to do something fun together. So our wish over the next 12 months here is that you guys grow to 50 to 100 strong. You guys can then get together like this, whether it's a karaoke place or whether it's something else fun. And then if it coincides, when I come over, we can do bigger events as well. Now, the industry knows them as virtual assistants. I'm not a fan of this word virtual. First of all, even before AI came, the word virtual means not real, right? So the word I started to use, and I actually own the domain vitalassistance.com, is I like to use the word vital, because the work you do for your clients truly is vital. It's important, it's essential, it's the kind of work that has to be done in a business, but entrepreneurs don't like to do it. But that's where you guys come in. So to me, it isn't just about cheap labor. It's without you guys, without my VA team, my business would not be functional. It literally would not be functional. And I don't make enough money to hire team members in my local country, so I wouldn't do it. But with the team that we have, about 6 people now, it makes it affordable for me to grow and build a business, literally leveraging team members like you.